we should be going live right now, and I'm hoping that we're going to be recording, but hopefully we'll get some early birds joining us today. How you doing, Mauricio?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. While we're over here behind the scenes getting ready for our debut here, I'm super excited and looking forward to where today is like kind of a start of a journey,
Yeah,
so I'm very excited.
I know,
So
me too.
when my right hand starts to itch, it means it's going to be very successful. So
is it itching now?
Yeah, it was itching.
Okay, is that a Salvadorian thing or what?
No, I don't know. All I know, I remember I was in a business meeting one time, and my right hand started to itch. And the people that were there, they were Indian from India, and the guy says that's a good luck sign, and I was like, man, my hand's just itching. He's like, no, that's a good luck sign. I was like, well, so I picked it up from there. I'm like, oh, that means it's money coming.
So money, because that's a Salvador. My mom used to tell me that.
Yeah,
well, maybe I guess it's a multicultural thing somehow.
Maybe. So, well, good. So let's get this thing started. You're the host of this of our show, and I'm excited to be working with you, and I'm looking forward to what's going to develop out of all of this. So, let's see who joins us today, and we get things going.
I'm putting you in charge of the comments, so you just kind of you can handle that, and I think you've got that experience already under your belt, so I'm not worried.
Okay.
And, I'll do some production stuff here as I'm learning and navigating, but we still have 4 minutes, so hopefully we'll get some people on. And
I think let me see what's going on over. Let me navigate really quick.
Okay.
And let's see what's happening over on this other side of the world, and.
Okay.
Today at 6:55, so this live video should start soon. So on the Facebook side, it's showing that it's going live, and we already have one comment. Adrian is commenting on it.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Is Adrian already on here? Let me see. We're gonna go to live comments. There we go. So we have. Glad to hear from both of you. So it just says Facebook user. All right. It doesn't give us a name. So we're going to probably have to ask for people to give us their name if it doesn't pop up.
Okay. That's good to know.
We'll figure it out.
We're learning. So, but oh gosh. Okay. So we got a few minutes. We got 3 minutes, but Adrian is with us. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, he wants to go on the boat this weekend. So I told him we're going out on Sunday. So
I'm just saying, I am like 2 blocks from the bay.
Yeah, no. So if we go to the bay, we have to go on. I would have to pick you guys up at Lamar, because that's like the public place to pick up people. So you go to Lamar.
Okay.
So,
all right. I got my mask.
Yeah, no, there's no mask. There's no social distancing. We're breaking all the rules. So on the boat, there's no rules. So
on the way.
If you don't want to break the rules, then you just can wait till they pick up the social distancing.
But on the way there. Okay. All right. So I think I got this. I think we're going to be pretty good. I'm going to start this little production note here. Hold on. Let's see if it works. Woohoo!
Look at that. All professional. Wow. I love it. So I'll monitor the comments, so we're good. All right. So let's do this. Let's make it happen. The purpose of why we're getting together, and the whole idea behind Confidence Strategies 101, and really this is something that this is kind of like your brainchild, and I just jumped on board because I love the idea. I think that.
Well, thank you.
I think that you have your perspective, my perspective. Our both of our experiences and being in the hospitality industry for so many years, and being business owners, and just being dealing with high level business decisions. I think that it's given us the ability to build that confidence and that in making decisions when we move forward, and really that's kind of what's happening here as we're moving forward through these crazy times, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to have an abundance and excess of something to help you get through when you need it most. So I don't think you and I suffer from that at all.
No. Well, I think for anything, people might people that don't know what your background is, I think maybe that's where we start off. Share a little bit of your background, and then I'll go deep into mine as well. And I think that's where we take it. So,
okay, so I'm gonna cut you off since I'm in charge.
Yeah.
And it is 7 o'clock.
Mute on me, so all of a sudden I'm just like mute because I'll talk.
Hey, welcome everyone. I am Carmen Milagro with my co-host Mauricio Mejia. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, listen, we are testing the waters with this brand new gathering of people and souls who are like-minded and who may want to share some of their stories, and we can share some of our experience and tips with you. This is Confidence Strategies 101. And what we're going to do is for the next 30 minutes, we're going to share with you some of our expertise. We're going to bring in guests down the road, but it's the inaugural launch today. So, and I'm the tech person behind the scenes here, so bear with me. Today, I'm going to sort of just let Mauricio give you his background a little bit, and then I'll circle back and share mine, my experience with you, just so that you know who it is that you are watching. Take it away, Mauricio.
Nice. Well, thank you, Carmen. And I think that it's exciting that we're experimenting here. Obviously, we're in a very uncertain times. Not to add on top of what we're already are aware of, but I think that it's part of the transition and the changes of what we're dealing with now. I mean, the business world, or the world that we were used to 6 weeks ago, now going into 6 weeks. Obviously, when we come out of this, is going to be a lot different. Coming from the background that I come from, being in the entertainment industry for 25 plus years of my life, started from when I was a kid. All I know is social contact, not physical contact, but social contact, meaning up and close with people. Before there was internet or there was any kind of social media, in order for people to know where your parties were at, we had to distribute flyers. We had to create flyers.
Old school.
Yeah, before there was graphics, we had to draw them, do cool illustrators, and then design these flyers. And even before there was mass printing companies, they used to do things on these rollers and that. I mean, just times have evolved.
Are we dating ourselves? Like how old?
Yeah, no, I mean, we have to, because we that's what gives us that legitimizes who we are and the experiences that we have, and how we continue to navigate through these waters, because that's really what it's about. It's about navigating through these waters and making things happen. So, going back from being us human beings being social creatures, it's real hard. It's there's like we were just talking about earlier. There's kind of like a grieving period, or like we've been separated from the world, not by choice but by force, and it's a shocker because it all hits you at once. I mean, the fact that when you want to go to the grocery store or you want to go out of your house, your mind now is been reprogrammed, where there's should I go outside? Should I do this? You're starting to doubt yourself. I mean, we're questioning everything now, because there's so much that's coming at us at one time that we don't really know what to believe now, because there's so much. There's so much, with fake news now, or with the networks battling for our eyeballs. There's so much going on, and everyone has comes from different backgrounds and beliefs and so forth, and so it's really hard to just kind of swallow that and really move forward. So I think go ahead.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that what you're saying is really important, because if you don't have this core confidence in your ability to discern what's coming at you, if you're this person who is a little bit more on the, I'm going to question things, I'm going to do my own research, that comes from a certain confidence. And so I think what's really important is we're going to talk about all these different things that you and I are experiencing, because as we're in different times and different phases of our lives, everyone is being affected. no matter how confident you are. Everything that we've known, like you said, up until 6 weeks ago, everything is in question. But what about those folks that are struggling with that core confidence, that well of confidence within them? So I think to say that we are all in the same boat is not an accurate statement, but we are all experiencing something that is really foreign and that no one has ever known before. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think what's happened too now, and this is what I said 6 weeks ago when this happened, immediately the first thing that came to my mind was, this is an equalizer. Yes. Basically, this is a global reset, and the people that have are if they are not set up properly, they are going to have not, and the people that have not now are going to be equaled with the people that had it. So now the person that used to be comfortable and had all of this is going to be now to the level of where the person is really struggling, trying to make ends and live in check to check and make it. It's going to be, it's going to open up some eyes to everybody. And I think this is where we're starting to see human kindness and humanity kind of come back. You're seeing, you're seeing people out on their bikes. You're seeing kids playing. You're seeing, even on social media, you're seeing some of the parents that are my age that are recording their children doing some of the cool things that they were doing back in the day, like riding a bicycle, like doing some silly things that were really family oriented and stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this develops and where it goes. I had a good conversation yesterday with a good friend of mine who's a broker, a stockbroker, and reason why I was talking with him is because for the first time in world history, oil is negative sales. Like, how do you go negative? And so in my mind, I'm thinking opportunity now, because my confidence level, again, it goes back to my confidence. I've learned that in my darkest moments in life and my biggest adversities in life is where I've come out to become sharper and more aware of what I need to do in order to navigate through that crazy time and then come out better at the end. So I don't want to say that I welcome this, because this is very uncomfortable, but when it happens, I'm mentally prepared. My gut is ready, prepared, and my mindset has some experience already, some wisdom behind it already, that I can understand it. I mean, I grew up in Southern California. I grew up in the barrios of Los Angeles. So I already have that callous, that street sense, that keenness to the streets. Right. Then growing up without, and then starting to have, and then starting my first business at 15. I mean, I just knew that, you start to build these experiences, and at 15 years old, normally, or I guess for the normal kid, if there's such thing called normal, but you're going to school, you got a parent that's on top of you, all you focus on is on school. And I'm over here at 15 thinking of, how can I survive, and how can I put food on my, to help, so.
And that instinct kicks in, right? Like, this is how I feel like it. There's certain people that have different instincts when the chips are down. Some it's flight automatically. And I'm not here to question that or judge. I wasn't put on this earth to judge another human being. Yeah. But that's not my way. My way is to, okay, let's figure this out. My instinct is to, this is serious. Now, how do I transition? How do I adapt? How do I bring out that chameleon-like quality that I know is in me that maybe was dormant for a long time? So just by doing this, like, I got to tell you, I am so far out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay, I
can tell a little bit. You're a little nervous over there. Nah. I've been used to. I've been kind of getting used to this the camera. When I was a kid, I was very shy to be on the camera. But as I got into the nightlife industry, I became a director of my own events, and I became, the program director. I became the guy behind the scenes pulling hey, play this song, blah blah blah, because I wanted the people to react, and I knew what people wanted to hear, because I knew what I wanted to hear, and I paid attention to what people's reactions were.
Of course.
So at all my parties, I would be the one. I'm the MC of my party, so I would jump on the microphone and say, can I get everyone to put your hands up in the air, make some noise? So now I'm telling 1,000 people in the room to put your hands up in the air and make some noise now, and to get them to react, it's like, all right, I like it. There's a high. It's like that's like a like, like when they like something, like a picture,
that's our old school like.
Yeah, that's the dopamine kicks in. You're like, oh yeah, now I mean, like when you're a musician, you're playing your music and you hit it right on the money, and then you see everybody right, they get all crazy. You're like, that's a dopamine. That was a little heart, like, so
exactly. It's that feel good. And I gotta say, yes, I've always been nervous. I always get the butterflies right before I go on. But for me, that's always a signal. If I am not a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit, nervous, if I'm not feeling that, then I don't care.
Right.
So I think one of the things that I wanted to touch on today, Mauricio, because I've been watching I didn't get to see them all, but I was watching your book reads, that you did that for 10 days. And I've seen a couple of your interviews and stuff. And one of the things that I noticed, which I want to sort of designate today as a pro tip, for people who are watching or who are going to watch this later. And I think someone said something about a rosé. That must be Adrian. He was listening in, I think, with our previous conversation. So we'll address that. But I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about is you said on one of the interviews I think it was on one of your lives, and you were talking about, when this thing started happening to us, that one of the first things that you advised someone to do was to start negotiating with your landlord, negotiating with your, credit card, with your vendors, all of that. Now, it's funny that the day that you said that was the day that I started my own process. So for me, what I really want to drill down with you today on that is the confidence aspect of it. Now, I know from business that when things start rolling down the hill and things are going south, that's when you have to jump in and as the CEO, as the person in charge of this entity, you have to have the foresight. Okay, this could possibly happen. Potentially this could go really south. How do I prepare for that? And I think that requires a certain confidence level, because some of the people that I've been trying to help, I have another business. I have several things in the fire pretty much all the time, like you. And, the travel business and the hospitality business is pretty much decimated right now. I have people that I'm trying to help, right? I have my housekeepers, my teams that go in and help me with the properties that I'm in charge of. And my heart is just how do we help them get through this? Well, one of the things I started doing was jotting down, I have a cheat sheet of what to do with the credit card people, with the utilities people, with their landlords. But I got pushback, and I thought, they don't, like, they're, it's pride. They don't want to ask for help. But I realized it's not that. There's a lack, and there's a lack of understanding. There's this thing that is a lack of confidence. They don't know how to negotiate with their landlord. And so if you could touch on that today, I know we've got about 15 minutes left. So I wanted whoever's watching and listening to really give them a nugget of how do you negotiate with your credit card people, with, your landlord. This is a skill set that comes from within. You have to have confidence to be able to do it.
I think the first thing is fear. People are afraid. And if you become fearless, then you will then start to break those barriers. And reality, being in the industry, or we deal with so much negativity, and we get sometimes desensitized and conditioned to just accept what is. And if you get comfortable, and I tell people, I come from a very black and white, because I understand it. And I always tell people that want to do business with Mauricio Mejia and want to do business with my entities or with me. And this is because I've learned this from other mentors, if we come from a space of black and white, where there's black or white, that's it, we're going to get great results. If you try to start a business from gray, you're already, the waters are muddied, or it just is, it's gray. Gray is, it's a blend. It's not a solid black or white. No different than like a relationship. If you start the relationship on de las malas, you know, whether it's you haven't finished the past and you jump into something that without closing the past or putting things behind, you're starting from a place of gray and not from a clean slate. So the point is, the reason why I'm sharing this is because I came from a place of having nothing, grew up. I made, you know, I shared my story, and, you know, at 25, I made my first million. At 28, I was doing multi-million dollar deals. And then in 2008, which was 12 years ago, I felt literally when the world turned upside down, the stock market. I mean, the stock market only dropped 1,000 points last time in 2008. The stock market has dropped over 5,000 points in the last 6 weeks, and people are. I mean, this one is really crazy. I mean, again, you know, we were just talking about earlier. Oil prices are negative. So the point is that when I lost everything and basically became homeless, and I was homeless for 2.5 years. Not too many people know that, but I shared that with people, and I'm openly about it because I want people to know that they're going to get the real deal. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. You know, you get what you get, and it shows that if I could do it and I can rise again to the top, it's not because I have some secret behind me. It's because at the end of the day, I want more, and I'll do whatever it takes to get to that level. Meaning, I have a little mantra that I say, nothing or no one will get in the way of my success. Yeah. And I believe in that. I believe in that in my heart and in my gut. So I'm not afraid to negotiate, because that's what life is. We're negotiating every day.
But not everyone has that skill set. So how do we help them overcome that? Like, do you have like a specific approach? Do you have like a warm up that you do before you get on the phone? Like, let's give them something.
Practice. Yeah, practice. You know, it's you know, talk to yourself. Like, as crazy as it sounds, you know, let's give it. You know,
That's what I want. That's it.
You know, if you need to call a credit card company, or let's just call the landlord, because, you know, right now rents are so crazy, and you know that you just lost your job and you can't pay your mortgage or your rent. You got to muster that energy in your gut, and you got to be able to say, all right, what am I gonna say? What are the possibilities of obviously this guy saying no? And then when he says no, or this person says no, or this company says no, you have to know how to pivot, how to reshuffle your cards, what to re-strategize. We people, period, and I say everybody, because this fear is universal. It's not just Latino, black, white. It's everybody. Everybody has fear, maybe different levels of it because of our cultures, but we cannot be afraid to ask. They always say that the mouth that's quiet never gets fed, you know? So you got to ask. And when I lost everything, I went from a kid making from nothing to only knowing success, from 5 to 25, making my first million, to losing it all. I realized that as I was falling, that if I didn't ask for help, I was not going to get any help. And until I raised my hand, literally, like, almost, I have to use that analogy, raise your hand and ask for help, because you're conditioned to, and when you're kids, when you're going to school, raise your hand and they'll give you help. I had to stop, and I had to ask somebody for help, because I was self-destructing. And when I got that, it was like a practice in my head. I was listening to motivational videos. I was listening to self-help videos, because I wanted to recondition my mind too. You know, I understand it more now as I'm older, but, you know, they always used to say, "Oh, stop listening to that crazy music," or "Stop listening to that and this and that," or "Stop hanging out with those people." And then you wonder, like, who are those people and what is that music? Well, if you feed your mind garbage, the only thing that's going to come out of your mouth is garbage. Right. If you feed yourself knowledge, then you're going to start to speak knowledge, and you're going to start to share knowledge. Yeah. And that's why I think that it's very important that, you know, when with anything that we do, like, you know, we've been practicing, not that we needed to practice, but we practiced to launch our show today. You know, we went through a couple of scenarios because if we didn't practice, then we would probably fumble, and we wouldn't have this cool banner down at the bottom, and we wouldn't learn this new technology. there's a lot of things that we're learning. By week number 2, 3, and 4, we're going to be such pros that we're not even going to be addressing it. But there was a little bit of unknown and uncertainty, and we took the chance and we did it.
Right.
Same thing with people out there. Take the chance. Don't people that want. There's a difference between a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur does it, and you're not. I always tell other business people, you're not a real business person or a real entrepreneur until you get your first lawsuit. Once you get your first lawsuit, then you've tasted what it's like. Yeah, now you're part of the crew. Like, you're part of the team, because lawsuits are inevitable. Period. Right. I'm a part of.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just kind of want to, for everyone that's just kind of joined us, and thank you so much for watching. But what we're trying to do here is create a weekly event for you where we can share some experiences and stories and knowledge, right? We also have resources that we can share with you, and we have our networks. And so what we're trying to do is gather this community of people who you may have questions, and if you'd like them to be answered by us, and we're not always going to, be able to do it right here, but we have our Facebook group. It's Milagro Mejia Confidence Strategies 101. Join the group. We'll be able to answer your questions there as well. We're like Mauricio said, we're learning this software where we can see some of your comments, but we don't know who you are. It's on the Facebook page. So if you're putting in a question that's really super urgent, again, it's kind of like raising your hand. Feel free to bug us, because Mauricio is going to check. But make sure that you include your name so that we can see it on this end. But I promise you, we will get to those questions that you have for us as quickly as humanly possible. So just to recap, one of the things that we were talking about today, to ask for help. So no matter what economic level you're at, it doesn't matter if you're a housekeeper or in retail or a multimillionaire. Everyone, and it's all relative, right? Our experiences are all relative, but everyone right now is in need of some help. And it may not be financial, it may be spiritual help, it may be mental health help that you need. And we have resources where we can connect you. So that's kind of what we are trying to do here with Confidence Strategies 101. And we feel that we can add some value. That's what we're here to do. So one of the other things that we want to also mention to you is we're going to try to format this, and it's loose, it's all organic. We're going to figure this out, but we want you to walk away every Monday, and after you spend 30 minutes with us, with at least one pro tip of the day and whatever questions that we can get to. So the pro tip today, like Mauricio was explaining, is negotiate. It's okay to ask for help from your landlord, the credit card vendors. If you need a little coaching, if you need some help, we'll try to answer those for you. Can you, Mauricio, we've got about 7 minutes. Do you have any questions out there that's kind of pressing that you see that we should answer right now?
No, I think that we're seeing some nice compliments here. I think that there's again, we're learning how to work the system. Some people it doesn't give their names, but Veronica's here. Hi, Veronica, how are you? Thank you. She liked the statement that we said equalizer for sure. You have a Jen O2, I think it is last name, who's on here, joined the group. So the question I think she's asking is. Hey, today I lowered, she's making a statement on what she did today. She lowered the interest rate on one of her credit cards almost from 20% to 15.99. So right now, again, negotiations. I mean, you can, if you need help, you got to ask for it. If not, there's millions of people that are going through crazy, the uncertain time right now. So you gotta step it up. You gotta, if you want help, then you go for it. I mean, that's just the way it's the way it is. That's just the way life is. Not necessarily with business, but that's just the way it is.
In general, right now, it's everything, right? I mean, if they're not willing to help, if the landlord isn't able or willing to help, then you ask for the next level of help from someone. Someone can help you. Someone can connect you to an attorney or to an advocacy group. But if you never ask, then those of us that are trying to help in some way, we wouldn't know. Now, I'm not saying we have all the answers. Between the two of us, Mauricio and I, we have a lot of answers. We have a lot of resources, and we have a large combined network.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're not experts at everything. So we can connect you to other experts. And that's what we're trying to do. We're building this community. We want to be the funnel for you and the funnel for the coaches and, you know, the life coaches, the business coaches, all those groups out there and advocacy groups. So that's what we're trying to do here on a weekly basis. 30 minutes on, you know, on Tuesday nights. If you can spare it, join us. We'd love it. And as we get better and better, we'll be able to do much more with this. Actually, when we get a producer who will do all this stuff for us, then I can sit back a little bit more.
We're gonna dial it in. Eventually, I want to be able to, with you, Carmen. I want to bring in a third guest.
Yes.
And where that way, you know, we can interview other people, other professionals as well. Between your network and my network alone, I mean, we can pretty much answer anyone's questions or concerns. If we don't have it right away, trust me, it'll take me a couple of hours to find somebody that knows, you know. And that's really where the power is at. Is I may not know everything, but I know somebody that knows what we're looking for, and that's really what we're at, and that's why it's called network. You know, it's our network is our net worth, and for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at in my life if I didn't have a very vast network, and that's just because of the industry that I was in prior. You know, being in the nightlife industry, I was touching 10,000 people a month on a minimum, so. You know, when you do those kind of numbers, it's you get to build relationships. So
exactly.
And this is how and part of how you and I met too. We met through the industry, and we've known each other for many, many years, and now we're here working together.
Full circle. Yeah. I don't know that this ever would have happened, to be honest, right? Like, I don't know if this would have happened if it weren't for these circumstances. So I've been accused many times of being a super Pollyanna. I'm not, but I do on a daily basis work on trying to stay positive and look at the silver linings. And I think that is part of the way that I adapt to extreme situations when I'm not in control. I don't like, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Mauricio, I don't like not being in control.
Right.
Sometimes the world and it just knocks you for a loop. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to quote a good friend that I had a great conversation with yesterday. Again, the stockbroker, and he says, "You know, Mauricio," he goes, "I appreciate people that want to be in the positive space all the time, but in order to be positive and grounded, you need negative to bring you down. You know, so positive and negative. If you just have a positive and negative with no grounding, you're going to short circuit. So, you know, we can go positive meaning energy, but that'll goes only so far until we hit that adversity or that negative, and then that negative becomes that resistance that keeps us sharp for positive. But at the same time, we need that grounding so that we don't short circuit ourselves. And I think that that's really where things are at right now. This has been a real eye opener. It's short circuited a lot of people that were probably just go. Remember, this is a different generation. There's you have a younger generation that, you know, their social interactions are all social media. You know, there's generations that are like, you know, it's bananas to see, but how fast time has gone. I mean, if you really think about it, 10 years ago, the person that's 20 years old was 10 years ago. They didn't have a phone, they didn't have nothing. So in the last 10 years, their social skills have been developed by social media and by how fast this world has come. So I think that's why I called it a global reset and a just a human reset, where And another good friend of mine, again, I'm surrounded by great mentors and great people. You know, he's like, Mauricio, the TMZ days are over now. All the fakes and the posers and this and that. This is where really like it's gonna real ground. It's gonna ground them, and it's gonna have to really make them understand, like, oh man, the party's over. Like I gotta go to work now. I can't be living at mom and dad's house, or I can't be depending on others. I need to really put effort behind it. So, and that's part of confidence, and that's what we're going to be talking about, as I know, as we move forward. So,
Well,
good.
absolutely. I mean, and there's all the different angles, and we'll try to, we'll try to give people all sorts of resources and different perspectives. Like you said, we're bringing on some special guests in the future, and we can probably do like I believe like 6 guests. So we can have our own party, and we can
Yeah.
have confidence strategies, and we'd love to hear from you. Please join our Facebook group page, Confidence Strategies 101. And I think that's a wrap, unless you've got like a pressing comment. I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, no, we're good. Let me take a look here. Any questions? No, just thank the people. There's a we have 11 comments. We have some people likes and some shares. I think this is really it's gonna grow, and I'm excited to be a part of this network. You're broadcasting from San Francisco, and I'm broadcasting from downtown San Jose. Combined, this is the Silicon Valley, so
Yep.
it's awesome. We're gonna definitely put our skill sets to work, and we're gonna make this thing to where it's very inclusive of everybody. So good.
Right.
I'm excited.
Exactly, because there's lots of tools and lots of tips that anyone can use at different times in their lives. And, maybe I'll get dressed up a little bit more next time, that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna be comfortable. We're in the Silicon Valley t-shirts. I'm gonna. No, you're always amazing. I love your fashion. I definitely, when I go to San Francisco, I want you to be hanging out with the crew, because you bring that attraction. You're like, oh, we got a superstar with us, and we have to be like, yeah, that's Carmen. Like.
Oh my God, you're so funny. Okay. All right, we gotta go. Nobody wants to listen.
Next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Don't forget, Carmen, Mauricio in the house. Next Tuesday, 7 p.m.
All right, thank you. Hey, and before we go, you got to tell them about tomorrow.
Yes. So every Wednesday I do my show. It's Mauricio Mejia Live, and I just talk about entrepreneurship. I try to talk about hot topics. I still refer back to my book that was published a couple months ago, Smoke and Mirrors, and that's really what I want to do. Is I want to be able to impact people during these times, and now with social media taking this like lift. I'm not afraid now to jump on my Facebook Live, but I want to do it organized. I don't want to be just like everyone just jumping on at random times. I want to be programmed and structured so that just like a TV show, or your novela, unless you gotta watch it at the right time. Unless you're on Netflix, you can pick it whenever you want. But really, it's programming it, and then we can replay this, or we can post it through other medias. But so every Wednesday I do my show.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it if you spread the word and share and like us, and send us the comments. We can take it. All right. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Talk to you soon. We'll see you next week. Ciao.